This is the Velotric Fold 1, a $999 folding e-bike. I know what you're thinking. Do we need another $1,000 folding e-bike? That's what I'm going to answer in this full review. First, I'll dive deep into the components. The battery has a total capacity of 608 watt hours. Then we'll get into some first-person riding footage, see how this motor performs, and Velotric display reading 30 miles an hour. And finally, some third-person riding footage where I'll give you my concluding thoughts and tell you how this stacks up to the other $1,000 folding e-bikes on the market. But first, let's take a closer look. And no, if you're new to electric bikes, this is not a scam. Velotric is actually a well-known company, and this is just the reality of the competitive e-bike space. And Velotric is putting their foot on the ground, wanting to compete with the likes of Lectric and Ride1Up, who have competing $999 electric bikes. But this is Velotric's first entrance into the ultra affordable category. And by the way, you might be able to save on that price by using our discount code down in the description. Either way, if you decide to buy, you can help support the channel for free by using the link down in the description before you make your purchase. And if a folding bike isn't your thing, you might also want to check out our review of the Velotric Discover 2. But if you're in the market for an ultra affordable and accessible, powerful, Class 3 e-bike, I'll show you how to override the top speed to 28 miles per hour in this video, and you also want portability, then this bike might be for you. The Fold 1 comes in 3 different colors. Not surprisingly, we went with this really nice electric blue, also offered in stone gray or pearl. It has a massive 440-pound capacity, and the step through this right here is just 15.75 inches, meaning it's very easy to get your leg over. It's a very accessible electric bike. The bike weighs 63 pounds, and I'll fold it towards the end of the walk around. It's good for riders, according to Velotric, down to 4'9" all the way up to 6'5". Though at 6'5", you're probably going to be towering over this bike a little bit. I'll show you how it looks for a 6-foot-tall rider. I have the seat in its highest position. I'm close to getting a full leg extension, though with this electric bike, one of the main selling points is that it's a bit smaller, so I would recommend this bike for riders on the shorter end. Next, let's talk about all the components. Any brand that wants to compete at this low price point has to have hydraulic disc brakes. You get those on the Fold 1, paired with 180mm rotors. The tires are 20 inches by 3 inches wide, and there's some tread on them, so you can take them on, say, some crushed gravel paths. And they're Chaoyang branded with hippo skin for some puncture protection. The front wheel is attached with a bolt-on axle. You get a coil suspension fork, 60mm of travel, preload adjustment on the left, lockout on the right. Here's a look at what you can expect out of the front suspension. There's a 60 lux front headlight that runs off the main battery, 4 mounting points on the head tube for Velotric's front basket. And when you pick up this electric bike, they do offer some bundles with some cool accessories, so be sure you check those out before you make your purchase. Those are just going to add to the versatility of this electric bike. We have really nice cable management running through the frame on both sides. I'll fold it at the end of the walk around, but here's where the handlebars fold down. Moving to the cockpit, we have ergonomic rubber grips, and they are locking. These are the hydraulic levers, complete with motor cutoffs. There's a left-hand thumb throttle, a bell, and Shimano's 7-speed trigger shifter, not necessarily a given on a $1,000 e-bike. The handlebars have a slight swoop to them, so you can make some small adjustments, but you can also move the handlebars up and down with this quick release. And there it is at its highest position. It has a monochrome simple LCD display on the left side, power button on top. You can turn those lights on by holding the pedal assist up button. It has a walk mode by holding pedal assist down. Battery capacity in the top right-hand corner. Current speed front and center. Pedal assist levels 0 all the way up to 5. Trip is currently displayed, but hitting the power button will change that. Over to the odometer, average speed, max speed, time, And back to trip. The bike comes shipped as a Class 2 electric bike with a top speed of 20 miles per hour, whether you're using the throttle or the pedal assist, but you can override it to Class 3 for up to 28 miles per hour while you're pedaling. With the display off, simply hold the power button and the pedal assist up button at the same time for 20 seconds. And here we go, you can adjust it all the way down to 12 miles per hour or up to 28. And simply hold the power button to get out of this. For those who want to charge their device, there is a USB-A port underneath the display. Moving on, there's a frame reinforcement here, Velotric branding on the down tube, and you have Fold on the rear chainstay. 3 bottle cage bosses, so you can mount a water bottle cage. Might I recommend ours at shop.ebikeescape.com. It honestly is the best one on the market because you can hold large water bottles all the way up to Nalgene water bottles. We also have some other high quality accessories for sale. There's a stand for when the bike is folded and the cables run underneath the frame. There's plastic folding pedals, push in, tilt up to fold. And the kickstand is located towards the rear with no chance of coming in contact with the pedals. Let's talk about this battery located behind the seat tube. To get started, the entire bike is IPX6 rated, but the battery is IPX7 waterproof, which means I could take this battery out, go drop it in the lake, dry it off, and put it on the bike, and it should work just fine. I don't recommend you doing that though, but it's nice to have the comfort that you can ride this bike in the rain and not have to worry. Let's remove this battery. Turn the key to the right, which will unlock it. Pull the battery out, and you can see right here, UL certified. The battery is UL 2271 certified. The entire bike's electronics is UL 2849. The battery has a total capacity of 608 watt hours. It says 46.8 volt, 13 amp hour battery. Now, while you might not need the waterproof factor of our battery bag, it's also flame resistant, and it's just great for when you're on the go. It helps protect your battery. This is the size small that fits the Velotric Fold battery perfectly. It's a roll top bag. And just like that, you can throw it on your vehicle if you're on the go. To put the battery back, I'm going to line up the grooves and simply press into place, and it clicked. You're good to go. The battery has a button on it to give you an idea of its current capacity, and of course can be charged both on the bike or off with this port that has a rubber cover. This is the included charger. It's a 2 amp charger, which means that it will take just over 6 hours to charge from empty. The rear rack is welded right to the frame and has an impressive max load capacity of 120 pounds. There's a Taillight up maxi window, say you have smaller children. Though if you have larger children, Velotric sells some passenger accessories for the rear. Here's a mount for the pegs, hydraulic disc brake in the rear, motor cable running between the dropout and the disc rotor. There's a light at the end of the rear rack, and it is brake actuated. Going to be a little bit more difficult to see it in daylight though. Velotric includes metal fenders both in the front and full coverage in the rear. The saddle is actually pretty comfortable, but let me show you something that will improve your comfort even more. This is our bump stop suspension seat post, and we have the exact size that fits this electric bike. And trust me, I don't say this lightly, that this seat post is a game changer. Then you get full suspension on this folding electric bike. Let's check out the motor. It is a 750 watt nominal 1050 watt peak motor. We'll see how it does up our large hill climb test. 70 newton meters of torque, and that motor is engaged, not surprisingly, with this bike's cadence sensor. Gearing in the rear is 11 to 28 teeth, and they're using a Shimano turning derailleur on the most entry level of Shimano components. In the front is a 52 tooth front chainring. It's single-sided and the guard is plastic. Some nice internal cable routing for the derailleur cable, and there is a clear chainstay protector right here to keep your frame from getting nicked. With all the components out of the way, I think it's about time to fold the Velotric Fold 1. So optional, you could remove the battery to make it a little bit lighter if you're putting it in your vehicle. You can also lower the seat if you'd like. let's fold those pedals, push in, tilt up, and the left side. And I usually find that putting the left pedal at a downward angle works pretty well. We'll lower the handlebars all the way just in case, and I'll lift the lever up and pull out at the handlebars, and those will drop down. And then the main folding part for the frame, push and pull out. And I'll use my leg to brace this. We'll bring the frame all the way around, put up the kickstand, bring the frame together, and what is cool is Velotric includes a strap. I'll show you that in a second. Here is how the bike looks folded. You want to be mindful of those cables. Looks like they have some metal protection around this cable, which is nice. It rests really nicely on the stand, and the Velcro strap just helps prevent the front wheel from moving if you're carrying this bike. The main selling point of any folding bike is that it's super portable. I could just go throw this in my van, no problem. Be mindful of the weight though. With that, let's get into some first-person riding footage and see just how this 750 watt motor performs. All right, first-person riding footage, and we actually have a lot to talk about if you're comparing this bike to other $999 folding electric bikes. First off though, I really like the wide step through, super easy to get my leg over. So here's how this is going to work. First, I'm going to test the bike out as it comes shipped as a Class 2 electric bike with a top speed of 20 miles per hour, whether you're using the throttle or pedal assist. And then after that, I'll change it to Class 3 mode and talk about some of the changes that makes. Also with the throttle, which is kind of interesting. I have the speedometer app by Coolnix on my phone to compare to the Velotric display. You should also know that the pedal assist also coincides with the amount of throttle you get. That's because this is a speed-based pedal assist system, which means at every pedal assist level, the bike is going to top out at a current speed, and you can pedal all you want, but more than likely you're not going to go past the speed because you don't have any motor power. So right now, pedal assist level 5 to test out the 20 mile per hour top speed as a Class 2 electric bike. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, throttle only. Pretty gentle takeoff. 10, 12, 13, 16, 17. I felt the motor backing off a little bit there. 19.8, 0.9, according to the Velotric display. Now it's reading 20. GPS saying 19. Now let's go through the various pedal assist levels. I'm going to shift all the way down, and we'll talk a little bit more about this speed-based system. Also, this bike is using a cadence sensor instead of a torque sensor, which means that as long as I'm spinning my legs, I'm going to get power from the motor, of course, depending on what pedal assist level I'm in. All right, from the stop, pedal assist level 1, first gear of 7 with the trigger shifter. All right, here we go. All right, nice gentle takeoff. So very accessible in pedal assist level 1. Going about 9 miles an hour. I'm going to shift up into second or third gear here. And right away, we're going to talk about the speed-based pedal assist, because I'm going 10 miles an hour and I can pedal all I want and I might get to 11 or 12, but the motor is not helping me at all. That's different from the current-based systems that you'll see on some other electric bikes. So around 10 miles an hour in pedal assist level 1. Let's go into pedal assist level 2. I felt the motor just a tiny bit, getting a little bit more power. Spinning my legs nice and easy. Third gear. So the speed is now around 12 miles an hour. Let's go ahead and go up to pedal assist level 3. Pretty significant jump in power. I feel the motor, it really wants to get me to whatever speed that they have set. I'm going to shift into fourth or fifth gear. And it looks like it's 14, 15 miles an hour. That's the speed. So the power ramp is actually pretty significant between pedal assist 2 and 3. It just wants to get you to the speed. Let's go in pedal assist level 4, see how it feels. All right, feel another jump there. Not quite as jerky though. Again, we're only going to get up to 20 miles per hour. All right, 16, 17 miles an hour. Pedal assist level 4, still fourth gear, feels pretty good. Let's go ahead and go into pedal assist level 5. Feel the motor wanting to get me to that 20 mile per hour mark, again as a Class 2 electric bike. And there we go, 19.9 according to the Velotric display. So that is what you can expect out of this bike as it comes shipped. Each pedal assist level coincides with a speed, and the motor's not going to help you after you get to the speed that they have set as I discussed. All right, let's go in Class 3 mode. Again, the way you do that is hold the power button and pedal assist up button at the same time. You hold it for 20 seconds. All right, there we go. Going to change it to 28 miles per hour. Now what's really interesting is this also changes the throttle only top speed. Now remember, Class 3 electric bikes, the throttle should still stop at 20 miles per hour. That's not the case on this bike if you change it to a top speed of 28 miles per hour. All right, so quickly, before we get to the throttle only top speed when overridden though, I'm going to go again through the various pedal assist levels. We'll see if we get any ghost pedaling towards the 28 mile per hour mark. All right, pedal assist level 1, going to about 13 miles an hour. So these speeds might change just slightly. Pedal assist level 2, good jump there, 16 miles an hour. Let's go into pedal assist level 3. You can probably hear the motor kick on more there. All right, so we're already hitting that 20 mile per hour mark. So it is different when you change it to what's called Class 3 mode. All right, let's go into pedal assist level 4. Probably going to need to shift up to 6th gear. All right, cruising at 24 miles an hour according to Velotric display, 23 on the GPS, and I'm just spinning my legs nice and easy, still providing some effort though, which of course is what I want. All right, pedal assist level 5, let's see if we can get to 28 here. Oh yeah, I can hear the motor. 7th gear. Okay, getting to a faster cadence. Wouldn't call it quite ghost pedaling, but this is a faster cadence than I'd prefer. And Velotric display reading 30 miles an hour, GPS reading 28. We're gonna do a brake test right after this intersection here at this tree. All right, good stopping power at what, 28, 29 miles per hour. Hydraulic disc brakes, really awesome to see, really on any $999 e-bike. All right, let's test out this throttle only top speed overridden. I think the idea is that Velotric just assumes if you're putting it to 28 miles per hour, you're going to disconnect the throttle, but be sure to follow all your local laws and regulations. All right, here we go. Pedal assist level 5. All right, 18, 20, 23, 25, 28 miles per hour according to the Velotric display. And I did have a full charge before I got started. 27 according to the GPS, and Velotric display reading right at 28. So that is the top speed on throttle alone. We know this motor is powerful, but how does it do up our hill climb test? Let's get to that. Okay, welcome to the hill climb test. This is the hill that I test out all the electric bikes that I review on the channel, so you can compare and contrast. First test throttle alone, and the GoPro makes this hill look so much smaller than it is, so we'll throw up a picture as well as the specs. We'll see what the minimum speed is. I didn't talk a lot about how the bike feels, but the seat, better than average in my opinion. I really like these handlebars. The ergonomic grips feel good. All right, 20 miles per hour, 19, 18, 17, 16, and given it can reach 28 miles per hour on throttle alone, it's going to make it up the hill, no problem. 16 miles an hour is very impressive. See if we go down from there. Okay, that is impressive. Definitely one of the most powerful, affordable electric bikes. Minimum speed of 16 miles an hour, but I'm gonna go back down and we'll see how it does while pedaling. All right, I'm going to shift all the way down and we'll go in pedal assist level 1. Shift up a little bit here before the hill starts. And it is still overridden for class 3 speeds. Third gear. So getting a lot more power from the motor in pedal assist level 1 than you get when it's in class 2 mode. And I'm just cruising up the hill, third gear, not providing a whole lot of effort. I could shift up, of course, and just cruising at 14 miles an hour. That's kind of one of the benefits of these cadence sensor electric bikes. On a torque sensor electric bike, I'd really have to put in a lot more effort to get full power from the motor, and more than likely just go in the highest pedal assist levels. But for this bike, pedal assist level 1, cruising up the hill in fourth gear, no problem. Let's go up though into pedal assist level 3. And as we know, the bike does throttle alone at 16. Now we're going 17. Let's go up to pedal assist level 5. Seems like we are already getting the maximum amount of power from the motor. So yeah, no concerns on my end for motor power up large hills. But with that, let's get into some third-person riding footage. I'll give you my concluding thoughts on the Velotric Fold 1. With the Velotric Fold 1, those looking for a $1,000 e-bike have more choices than ever, which is a good thing because this is understandably an important price point that many don't want to cross, especially with their first e-bike. And at least when you're buying from a larger brand like Velotric, there isn't a concern of whether the company will be around in a year should you need parts. The features brands can pack into a $999 e-bike continue to surprise me. I'll start with what I think are the biggest differentiators, and then we'll discuss some of the key considerations. First off, motor and battery, which in my opinion are the main two with this e-bike. The motor at 750 watts nominal, 1050 watts peak performed best on our hill climb test when compared to both the Lectric XP 3.0 and the Ride1Up Portola, with an impressive 16 mile per hour minimum speed. And it shouldn't be surprising that class 3 speeds up to 28 miles per hour are easy to get to, engaged with the cadence sensor. Plus, yes, a throttle at the ready when needed. Next, this is the largest battery of the three, at least at the $999 price point, at 608 watt hours. Plus it has an IPX7 rating, which means it's going to hold up no matter how much rain. As a reminder, the entire bike is IPX6, and as we're seeing many brands move to, we have a UL certified battery, and the entire bike's electronics are also UL certified. And then you've got the standover height of just 400 millimeters, or just under 16 inches, also the lowest among the three popular folding e-bikes. The frame design also just allows for a lot of room to get your leg over, which is nice. Rounding out the specs, the hydraulic disc brakes are plenty capable of bringing you to a stop. You get fenders, lights that run off the main battery, a basic coil suspension fork, and 3-inch wide tires give you stability, but also allow this e-bike to venture out a bit beyond strictly paved paths. The rear rack welded to the frame boasts a nice capacity of 120 pounds, and the entire bike can hold 440. Velotric has some nice bundles for passengers or cargo, which are worth checking out as well. The display is small and simple, expected at this price point, but it is easy to use. And assembly, thanks to its folding design, is very easy. Remove packaging, simply attach the quick release handlebars, unfold the pedals and frame, attach a couple connections, and do a safety check. Then you're ready to ride. Okay, time for key considerations from someone who has ridden hundreds of e-bikes. I think the biggest one here is the speed-based pedal assist. So if you didn't watch the first person riding footage, you should go back and check it out. At each pedal assist level, the motor is going to stop assisting you at a predetermined speed set by Velotric. This is compared to the current base systems, which will continue to give you a lot or a little bit of motor power, of course depending on your pedal assist level, no matter what speed you're at. This might be a pro or con depending on how you like to ride, but it's important to understand. And in between some of those 5 levels of pedal assists, I really felt the motor wanting to get me up to that specific speed in a hurry. Again, some might love that acceleration, it just depends. The speed-based pedal assist also coincides with the throttle, so if you want the max speed of 20 miles per hour, you'll have to switch to pedal assist level 5. Next, the battery is located behind the seat, so depending on your height, you might just have the one more step of lifting your seat up should you decide to remove the battery. Finally, these are considerations of most of the bikes that compete against the Fold 1. Yes, they are portable, and I'll add that Velotric's Fold 1 folds nicely. It's still heavy though at 63 pounds. I highly recommend a large bin if you plan to put it in your vehicle. And then height ranges, I'm so glad these smaller framed bikes with 20-inch tires exist because they are so much more accessible and less intimidating for shorter riders. But if you're tall like me, you may not be able to get full leg extension. If our in-depth reviews have helped you make a purchase decision, I have one favor to ask. Check out the links in the description. All you have to do is click the link before you make your purchase. It's free. Thanks for your support. Overall, Velotric continues to put out e-bikes that speak for themselves, and that's no different with the Fold 1. If you're a motor and battery maximalist and on a budget, it's hard to beat the Fold 1. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.